justice, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As a Windermere Hawk, I promise to practice the Windermere way. I am respectful, responsible, and ready to learn.
Friday.
If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. By giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great. Because everybody can serve.
I was one of 4 6-year-old children, girls, to integrate the public school system here in New Orleans in 1960. When I look at the Norman Rockwell painting and I see myself, I always say that the lesson I took away was a lesson that Dr. King tried to teach all of us. And that was that we should never look at a person and judge them by the color of their skin. I crossed a picket line, a mob every day for a whole year. There was a woman there to greet me. She did everything she could to make my day fun. She not only taught me, but she read stories to me. We played games. I knew that if I got past the mob and inside of the building, I was going to have a great day. And it was because of her. So she showed me her heart. And I began to realize that there was no way she was like the people outside. I couldn't judge her the same way. And so I believe at that moment, I learned the lesson that Dr. King died trying to teach us.
My father said an individual has not started to live until he or she can rise above the narrow confines of his or her individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of humanity. He would certainly applaud the fact that our nation has set aside a day where we can become more other-centered rather than self-centered and really focus on the broader concerns of humanity, because that's really the person that he was and the way that he lived. Nothing's insignificant. As you're celebrating the King Day, remember you are important, you're significant, and you have something that you can offer to make humanity a better place.
Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the most influential civil rights leaders in our history. And on the third Monday of January, we celebrate him by making that a national holiday. It's actually, it's the only federal holiday that's designated as a national day of service. And he was a man of service. Think about what that means to serve, to be of service to others. When we're serving or being of service, we're helping others, we're giving to others, and it takes a lot of empathy. Empathy is when we put ourselves in someone else's shoes, and kindness to want to serve. And guess what? It's like filling a bucket. When you fill other people's buckets and do kind things for others, your bucket gets filled too, and you feel great about that. So on this national holiday, think about what you can do to serve your community and to give to others. Martin Luther King also said everybody can be great because everybody can serve. It doesn't matter what your age is or what your ability is. Anybody can serve. Anyone can do this. So think about what your interests are and what your strengths are. Do you love to draw? Maybe you could draw some pictures or draw some cards and send it to a local nursing home or retirement community. They would love to see that. Think about if you love to write stories or even create videos, you could share that with other people too in our community who aren't able to get out as often. If you love animals, maybe you want to call up an animal shelter and find out what they need and work on collecting donations or maybe making some things yourself to donate to them. You can donate to food shelters, you can do a book drive, maybe talk to your family or your friends and think about some things that you can do together to help serve your community. I can't wait to hear what all of you do and how you can take advantage of this really important holiday. Remember, this isn't just a day off of school. This is a chance to do something important in the world, to be great and to serve others. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to hear what you do. Bye, everyone.
Hi, Windermere Hawks. My name is Mrs. Jackson. I teach 5th grade, if you don't already know me by now. I am also on a committee at Windermere for the teachers called the DEI Committee. That stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Mr. Gamble and I, led by Mrs. Nolan, represent Windermere at all of these meetings for our district, and we meet with other buildings in Upper Arlington, and we even this year got a new administrator, Mr. Boaz, and we are so excited to have him. We also want to remind you that the famous Winston Churchill once wrote, "Those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it." I want you to think about that for a minute. Winston Churchill wrote, "Those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it." So after you've thought about this for a little while, I want you to just think about Mrs. Hemmelgarn and think about how appreciative we are for her that she has taken us on our civil rights journey and tour over the last several days on Wake Up Windermere. This is important so we can learn from our leaders in the past and help carry on the tradition of fighting for equality in all aspects of our lives. This struggle continues today around the world, in our country, and even in our own community, and that's why it's important that we have these representatives. It is our job as responsible citizens to make sure that everyone can enjoy freedom. I hope that we can all act as bravely as some of the people that we have learned about on Wake Up Windermere during Mrs. Hemmelgarn's segments. Thank you so much. It was great to meet those of you that I don't know, and keep reading, Windermere Hawks.
Welcome back, road trippers. Today is our last few stops on our civil rights tour. We're going to start in Selma, Alabama. We're going to march with Martin Luther King to Montgomery, head to Memphis, Tennessee, and land in Washington, D.C. Let's go. We wanted to march in the same steps Martin did to help African Americans get equal access to voting rights in Selma, Alabama. We stood on the very steps of the home where he lived with his family in Montgomery. We climbed the steps to the church where hundreds would flock each week to hear his message of hope. We stood in the very spot where he delivered his famous speech for a better tomorrow to thousands of his supporters in Washington, D.C. We paid our respects to the very place where his life ended too early on April 4th, 1968. World Book Kids and World Book Student can help you learn about Dr. King and the holiday named for him. learn about why he is the first African American to have a memorial on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Find these books along with all of the others featured this week in your Windermere Library, and find a read aloud of A Place to Land, where you listen to Mrs. Hemmelgarn's read alouds. I hope you enjoyed your road trip with the Hemmelgarns. We hope your journey does not end here. Keep growing and learning to make the world a better place for all. No matter the color of your shell, we all deserve to be treated with love and respect.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Windermere Hawk. Happy birthday to you.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last.